Warriors right now are 12-47. They are one of the worst teams in the league. Steph Curry is now going to be practicing with the Santa Cruz Warriors coming up. So he hasn't returned yet, but it is seeming likely that he's going to return in the next week or 2 weeks. But still, this team is going to be a bottom 5 team in the NBA going into the draft. They have their pick, but they have, now Andrew Wiggins on this team. They have Klay Thompson that's going to come back next year. They have Draymond Green that's still on the team, although he sucks. And they have Steph Curry, who will be coming back from injury, and a top 5 pick. So let's talk about that. Hopefully a top 5 pick, at least for their fans. If they stay number 1, they will have a top 5 pick, so we can at least just work in that realm. Dave, a lot of talk about, if they get the number 1 overall pick, what will they do? Should they pick? Should they trade? What's the value for that pick? So let's go through all of those things. If you were Bob Myers running the Warriors, you get the number 1 overall pick after the lottery, what is your game plan? Do you trade it or do you pick somebody?
So you're in a situation where, in theory, your team is right back at the top of the standings for the playoffs. I don't care what's going on in Los Angeles. Clippers, Lakers, you have equal firepower to them. You should be able to take it to both of those teams. So in my mind...
So you're saying Steph, Klay, Draymond, Wiggins, plus a number 1 overall pick.
Literally, if you just stop right there, those 4, if that's my core, I feel like I'm equal footing with where the Clippers will be during this next offseason because they've got a bunch of guys up on contracts. They're potentially losing Trez, potentially losing a couple other pieces. Mm-hmm. We'll see where that goes. The Lakers... Again, we'll see where they go, if AD, locks up or not. Plus, they have literally no depth on that team anyway. And then you look at the East and you go, obviously, the Kyrie-KD combo. We'll see if they can stay healthy. You look at Giannis. Obviously, this will be the last year of the prove-it deal for Giannis. We'll see if the Bucks can, make something happen this offseason. Mm-hmm. So, if I'm the Golden State Warriors, I'm like, okay, so I've got a chance at being a top 3 team in the West. There's absolutely no reason that we can't compete for a championship right now. So the question is there anyone in this draft class at the top who can help me compete for a championship right now? One name.
2 names.
One name in my mind.
I think there's one name.
It's James Wiseman.
There it is.
And that's the guy. And the problem with them being in this position this year is you couldn't have had a worse year for this to happen because the best talent and best fit for your team is someone who we only got to see play 3 games. He got, obviously a lot of hype time in high school. He's solid. He looks athletic. He looks like he's got a great face-up game. Skill set-wise, he's a perfect fit for what you want for that team as a 5th starter. It's just a matter of he's such an unknown, and there's so many questions around this class that is he worth taking or is he worth trading out for?
So I want to have that conversation before we get into what Ricky thinks should happen. I've gone back and watched the full 3 games that he played. I have come around from the last time we had this draft topic, and I think this talks about how much this draft fucking sucks.
Sure.
That my mind keeps changing every time we have a conversation about these guys. So it might even change after this.
Someone say that's like, and just to throw devil's advocate out there, this might have been what you wanted to. The basketball gods were listening to you last year going, it's so boring, Zion's always at 1. They're like, here you go, Sean.
Yeah.
Here you go. It always changes.
Yeah,
this is true.
And I should stop bitching about things. I should be happy. I would take last year's draft class in a heartbeat. It was so much better.
All we heard was, why is Zion always number 1?
I've seen conversation about Zion being number 1 pick.
I'm more interested in P.J. Washington, who went 11th in that draft, than any of these other players.
You know why? Because you actually got to watch P.J. Washington play basketball for a whole season.
But going back and watching James Wiseman play basketball, I know it wasn't against any team that was super great. I know Oregon's ranked, but all these teams suck. College basketball sucks this year. And maybe that's going to lead to exciting basketball play in the tournament. A lot of upsets, which should be fun.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a great team in college basketball this year. I'm going to stop giving my college basketball takes, but I think that it's very clear that there is a tier 1 in this NBA draft, and it's very clear that there's only one player in that, and it's James Wiseman. He is so athletic, so fluid, and I think something that's been underrated by me, and I don't think it's been by every draft scout, so I'm not going to say that is an absolute here, but his touch with shooting the ball is pretty phenomenal for the size that he is. And I think we're underrating the fact that he's 7'1", or at least I am. He is a physical specimen, and he looks like he could have an impact like Dwight Howard had in the NBA. I think that maybe a little bit different because the game was played differently back in 2004 when Dwight was drafted. And obviously 2009, 2010 was a different year where they were playing a very unique style of basketball where, the Warriors now, they created it, but I don't think it's truly unique now. But they do have the players to play so well in that system, in Steph, in Clay, and Draymond. Obviously, Draymond can't shoot, but still, his ability to play defense and set screens is unique, and also passing. I think that you slide in James Wiseman. I think that he could be the third best player on that team. I think he'd be better than Wiggins. I think he'd be better than Draymond. I think he's going to be impactful, but I think he's never going to be the Draymond he was in 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
But I still think that he'd be a good starter. James Wiseman on this team would make them a top 3 pick, or top 3 team in the Western Conference if they drafted him. So if they get the number 1 overall pick, I do not think they should trade out. Because I don't know what the value is for that number 1 overall pick due to the lack of, I think the Warriors have their biggest need being center, and they can fill it out. And I don't think you're going to be able to fill it out as impactfully as you can with James Wiseman. The only argument that I would have is sign a cheaper center and try to get pieces to fill out your depth.
You can always gamble on if Boogie wants to do a cheap contract because he enjoyed his time with, on that coast and doesn't want to leave. I could see Boogie taking a 1-year, couple $1 million deal, but you gamble on Boogie's health after back-to-back years ending in tragedy. You know?
EJ also says, I want to see Wiseman can play the 4. I don't. I think he's a perfect 5.
No, like a lot of people are starting to look at his game and then look at Anthony Davis and be like, is he modeling his game after Anthony Davis and Cat rather than Joel Embiid and DeAndre Ayton?
But with that, those guys are. I don't see why AD and Cat can't be 5s. They just don't want to play 5s. And the fact that you don't want to play 5, that's fine. But I think that the fact that we see so many undersized centers, like you could still play in a unique way in this Warriors lineup as a 5.
Yeah,
I mean, like, the 5 doesn't mean you have to be a
back to the basket,
playing below the free throw line.
Yeah.
Like, you could still be a stretch 5. Be a unique player at the 5.
Yep.
Be James Wiseman and just go out and go up against these big centers. You're more athletic than all of them. You're taller than most of them.
Yeah.
Go out and just dominate all 5s. And fuck what Anthony Davis is doing. Fuck Karl Anthony Towns is doing. Go out and be your own goddamn dude and play the 5 and rim protect.
Yep.
You are a true rim protector. You have that in you.
7'5" wingspan.
Go play a defensive 5. Like, if you do that, you can be defensive player of the year. Like, I mean, maybe not him, but like if you go out and do what, just go be Hassan Whiteside, but better at basketball.
Stop comping. Just it's
I
bad.
know but
be your own player. I get what you're saying. He's got the body. He has the physicality. He has the athleticism, and the nicest thing about this whole thing is you don't have to count on him to be the guy any given night. Like a lot of these number 1 picks, John Morant had to come into a Grizzlies team and be the guy day 1, and he's lived up to it, and that's fantastic. Zion Williamson came into his team, and like you said, as soon as he hit the floor on that team, he was the guy on that team. Drew Holiday is the leader of that team. Brandon Ingram has been their best player of the year up to this point in time, but Zion clearly makes this team a different team because it's his team. So with James Wiseman, he comes in, and guess what? He just has to get boards, put back some shots, and block some spot, be a rim protector. I think that this is honestly like one of the perfect setups for a player to hit the NBA and be able to be competitive year 1, be able to do what is in his tool set already, and not be overextended.
Yeah, Easy saying he would be so much better about the 4 if he could tap into that potential. These big men with that mobility are all doing it now. They are, but
but they don't need him to play the 4. They've got Draymond.
Draymond could just shown that he could play the 5.
Yeah, but I would rather let Wiseman, like you said, grow to his own at the 5 rather than force him into the 4 position and then let Draymond play the 5.
People seem to be mentioning that he wants to be more of a 4, though.
So kind of a DeAndre Ayton type of situation.
It's the I'd rather play face-up basketball than back to the basket offensively, which isn't a bad thing. It's just, like you said, when you have someone like Draymond Green, who is one of the best pick setters in the league, you want him on the outside. And that's where I want, about 7 feet out from the basket, I can have Wiseman catch and turn.
My thing is, I also don't know why you need to have those rules set in place for a 5.
True.
I mean, if any team could be unique enough, it's the Warriors. Just use him uniquely as a 5. Like have two 4s out there. Like we've seen them be so influential on changing the game that if they have a player that is this good and has this soft of a touch, I think they could use just two 4s out there. I don't think we should lock everything in. We were talking about positional basketball, but we still want to lock these guys into positions.
True.
I don't think that you need to lock him into, being a 4 or being a 5. This kid's 7'1", 245 pounds. He could rim protect like a 5. I think that he can be rebound impactfully like a 5. But I also think he has the scoring potential of a 4, and he has the athletic ability of a great NBA player.
He should be able to guard multiple positions. Like that's the setup because he has quick feet. He's athletic. Yeah, everything about this pick screams like just do it for the Warriors. And I know, Ricky, you might be on a different train for this one.
Well, there's 2 players. Like, if I'm looking at this draft, there's 2 players. And if I get either of them, I'm happy.
Okay.
The first one's James Wiseman. The second one is Onyeka Okongwu. If I get either of those 2 guys, I'm happy.
Interesting.
But here's the other thought that I have rolling into my head.
Yeah.
Is number 1, what if they get the number 1 pick? If I get the number 1 pick, obviously you're taking Wiseman. But there's a thought in my head. Let's say I'm going to use the tankathon, what the order would be right now. Let's say there's no changes.
Hey, real quick.
Yep.
Onyeka's played himself into being picked by the Warriors because he's now 25% from 3 after hitting that 1 3 from 69 feet away from the basket.
That was amazing. He's not afraid to take shots.
There's no fear in Onyeka Okongwu.
So, like,
Big O showing that big D.
Bunch of people throwing shade at Ben Simmons in that thread on Reddit, by the way. Jake, just for you.
Oh, he sent me that clip.
Easy, cover your ears because you might not like this as a Knicks fan. But if, let's say, the order is what it is right now, Warriors at 1, Knicks at 2, I'm picking up the phone and I'm either calling New York or I'm calling Cleveland. More so New York, because if I have the number 1 pick, yes, I can take Wiseman. But the question is, would the Knicks... If the Knicks aren't going to lean Wiseman and they want a LaMelo Ball or they want a Anthony Edwards, maybe more LaMelo Ball. If I'm the Warriors, I would try to finesse a team behind me and do what the Mavericks did. We're going to make a trade like
do what the Clippers
Clippers have done, the Celtics have done. We saw it with the Mavericks and the Hawks when they made the 2-pick swap for Luka and Trey.
Right. Well, then it would be Atlanta. Do what Atlanta did.
Yeah, do what Atlanta did. That's what I meant.
That's why I said the Celtics are perfect because they J-Tate them.
Yeah, and I would do that. I would try to do that same thing if I'm the Warriors.
Yeah.
Only because the Knicks have the ammo to move up because they could be like, oh, well, we'll give up our pick. We still got Dallas's picks. We've still got picks. Plus, we're getting the guy we want in LaMelo Ball. There's the other thought rolling through my head. Let's say you get number 1, you take Wiseman.
Yep.
At the end of the year, what are the Warriors going to think about Andrew Wiggins? Because to me, this is the rest of this year, they're doing the same thing they did with D'Angelo.
Yep.
Of how does he fit? And I started bringing up like, okay, how do you rank Andrew Wiggins' trade value? Because the thing that I look at is close to home. Jimmy Butler was traded for a 7th overall pick. Mm-hmm. Is Andrew Wiggins worth around that amount? Because if you could get, let's say, a 6th from Detroit, if Detroit even wants Andrew Wiggins, that's a discussion also that has to play into it.
Well, they got rid of Reggie Jackson, so they needed an inefficient chucker.
If they can sell Andrew Wiggins for, let's say, like a 6th overall pick and take like a Denny Abdia, a guy who is very comfortable and loves pull-up threes. Like, that fits right into their system.
But
he can ball handle when Steph's not on the court. Like,
that's my concern there would be, like, in 2K, 100% I would do that. But, like, this Warriors franchise, this is their window.
I don't think the youth... I don't think the age matters. It's how do they fit with the team.
Let me say this.
Because Kerr will get the best out of him.
I agree with... I think you're going too far. I think if they get the number 1 overall pick...
You just take Wiseman.
Or let's say top 3. If they get top 3... You either go Wiseman or Big O. I think that's what this team needs. And I think that's what would help this team and push this team forward. And that's if you're picking. I think those are the 2 guys you go with. I'm doing my goddamn best. If I'm picking, I'm going after James Wiseman.
Yeah.
Because he can step in, play right away.
Yep.
And Onyeka, I think he could, but I think he would have. I think he's easily going to have a lot more growth.
There's times when he's going to be pushed off the court too.
He's gonna get pushed off the court, and he needs the ball fed to him. Where I think Wiseman could make himself impactful in other ways. And Onyeka, there is an issue. I mean, he does a great job in college of sealing off circles and getting himself in positions to receive the ball. And USC's guards suck. And just don't look at them. But even then, I don't know if he has that it factor to take this team into, all right, they're a top 3 team in the Western Conference. Because although the Clippers are going to have some damages, they're still going to have Kawhi and PG-13, and they're hopefully going to be healthy. And if they are, they're a top 3 team. Lakers, AD, and LeBron, they're a top 3 team. And if the Nuggets are able to make an impactful move like we were talking about, even if they don't, I still think they're a top 3 team. I don't know if the Warriors are in there. They're top 5, but I don't think that, because I'm not sold on Klay being 100% healthy. Draymond is worse. Steph, what is he going to be? Can he stay healthy? I'm not trusting Steph. When was the last time he's played 70 games?
I'm the person who counted him out. So
I'm just saying, like, I don't know if they're, but if you get James Wiseman, he is that impactful. Where Onyeka and Okongwu, I don't know if he can be consistent enough at this early age. He is very raw
to carry a team with injury.
Wiseman is that guy.
Yeah,
Wiseman can step in. He's not that raw. He knows his body, and he's just going to get better and better.
I still think he's raw, but I think he's like
he's
so
good
talented that
good
like
raw.
he can mold himself to whatever he wants to be.
Where do you think the raw parts of his games are?
I mean, defensively, I think he needs to learn how to position himself a whole lot better. It seems like he has...
It helps that he has a 7-foot wingspan.
Yeah. When you can come back and gap close like a mother... Yeah, of course.
It's awesome.
I love watching. But yeah, no, like his top of the key pick and roll game needs help. We didn't get to see a ton of opportunities though. And again, like it's just the sample size is so hard to tell because, like I said, he was playing against a bunch of 6'9" centers. Like, what do you fucking do? It's the same thing with high school level. When you go back and watch that tape, he dominates, but like, how much of that is just size? How much of that is his skill set? So, I think he's gonna grow a lot. And that's scary because I think he's able to come into the league and he could probably put up 15 and 10 and like a block a game in his rookie year.
Like only a block a game.
Like that's my baseline for him. That's what like I think he can do more than that. But you mentioned if Steph goes down and now we're playing ball through a different key. If Klay Thompson doesn't stay healthy, or has to work his way back up to,
Well, Steph's the key to this whole thing.
Yeah. But like if you have to, go 20 games without them, like
if you have to go 20 games without Klay, I'm fine. If you have to go 20 games without Klay, I think you're fine with Wiseman, Curry, and Draymond
and Wiggins.
I think you're fine.
My point is, I think
Steph
he can step in and soak up minutes and shots from those guys and be able to continue on. And they're not going to be, nearly struggling anywhere close to what they are this season.
The thing that Dave brought up a good point when you said, when I brought up the one trade and you were like, oh, but what about like this is their window?
Yeah.
The only trade I realistically seeing is them possibly trading back, even if it's like 1 or 2 picks to say, hey, we can still get Wiseman.
Yep.
We can still lock that down because there's a possibility, and I know everyone out there is going to say Hot Take City, jump on the train. Sam even brought it up in Twitch chat. We're looking at 2022 free agency. I think it's 2021 free agency.
Yeah, that's the year when everybody's up.
I think about sign-in trades.
Yep.
If you need to make a sign-in trade to get someone on your team, Andrew Wiggins can help with that. That's where the contract comes.
Yep.
And if I can get some picks from the Knicks to basically add to that draft pool or add to that trade pool, I should say.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that if I am Bob Myers, if I am the Warriors front office, I'm trying to get more picks because I am going to make a run at Giannis.
Yeah.
And adding Giannis to this team. If I get Wiseman, if I get Okongwu, whichever one.
Yep.
I'm getting one of them. I don't care who it is because that's not the big fish to fry. The big fish is to add, hopefully, a Giannis to this team to have Super Team 2.0 and run it back.
Let's get this conversation away from that because I don't think that's happening.
I mean, I'm just saying, it's a possibility. It's a long way away.
It's a possibility. It's also a possibility that my hair just naturally starts regrowing back.
I mean, you also said LeBron wasn't going to the Lakers.
Okay,
so, I mean,
but I also
possible.
overlooked a lot of things. He wanted to go to L.A.
I mean, you could
I don't think
be,
Giannis wants to go to L.A.
The big rumor with Giannis is if they don't win the title this year, he doesn't want to come back.
Okay, what if they win it? Okay, but he's still going to play next year.
Win next year?
No, I know,
next year.
But like, if they don't win it this year or even next year, he'll want out, and that's where the Warriors could swoop in. And if I'm the Warriors, I'm not banking on the Bucks beating the Clippers or the Lakers.
Talk to me February 2021. We'll see what happens. I would put it at 10%.
All right. Let's talk the one scenario we haven't done then. Trading the pick this year out for someone who is an established player, whether it is a star or a substar. Like, is there anybody out there who you feel like a bottom team holding on to somebody who could be valuable would be able to make that kind of a deal?
Can I have? I want to put this first. I think I'm going to get to it in this question, but I think what's more likely is they trade back, and like we were talking about earlier, they trade back and do a Jason Tatum or a Trae Young thing. I think that is more likely to happen than move back. I think that's where the value is going to be this year because I don't think those players are necessarily out there for a number one overall pick. That is, in our society, in basketball, those are so valuable that I really don't think there is that type of player out there. Last time we saw it was Kevin Love, and Kevin Love was an all-star, a guy grabbing
20 and 20.
2020.
Yeah.
He was truly a game changer to help that Cavs team become a title contender and ultimately win the title. I don't think there is a K-Love out there. Typically, we would look at like a Devin Booker, but Devin Booker, I think the Suns are in a good enough place now that Ayton will be coming back. Rubio looks like a great addition. Sucks that Oubre might he's going to be out for the rest of the season, but I think they want to keep running that back, and I don't think Booker is in that place to kick out of it. If we look back at Minnesota, I don't think Cat's going to push because now they got D'Lo.
Plus, Minnesota might be the ones going after Devin Booker.
True. I don't see a team that has that player that's worth a number one overall pick. You might make the case for Washington, for Bradley Beal. How does he fit, though?
Yep.
And then also, I don't think the number one overall is enough for Beal. I think he's too good. I don't think K-Love was good enough. I think the salaries also are way too hard to match up. So then you would likely have to put Wiggins back in that deal. Right? Cap-wise?
Cap-wise.
Because he's making 30 plus.
Yeah, I mean, the Warriors are already like completely maxed at the moment, but yeah.
So that one seems too difficult. So I don't think there is a perfect person in that sweet spot that they can land with this pick. So I think what's more likely is they trade back. I would say it's like 80% they trade back in this draft and try to regain capital to then move in a different spot. I don't know if there's a player, and that's why I think it's so tough to find that sweet spot of, all right, who's too much, who's too expensive.
What about Kevin Love this year, though? I know he's not worth a one, but like if they trade back and then trade that pick.
Which I think is possible. I just don't know.
And some a lot of moving pieces, obviously. But.
Yeah, and he's also making a shit ton of cash, too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I think the cash is the hardest thing to figure out here.
What if... Yeah, it's tough.
I think that I think you would look at the Nets.
What? Sell me on it.
Well, not Kyrie or KD or DeAndre Jordan. I think that, maybe you can make a case that Dinwiddie's cheap, right?
Relatively.
But for one, though, that's the thing. It's like I'm trying to, I don't think that they're there yet. Vucevic
would be interesting.
Is he worth a one, though?
No, he's not, because you expect Wiseman to be better than him within a year or two. I mean, as a number one overall pick. Vucevic has such a good offensive game, though, and he is very skilled, but Wiseman extends your window. Vucevic is the cap.
I'd be also remiss to say straight up.
Yep. How could we not? How could we not say that?
LaMarcus?
Aldridge. Mid-range killer. Got experience. It's older. Depends on the deal. Honestly, I wouldn't give up a one overall for him, but I mean,
I don't think there's a player in that
he's-
Kevin Love range where he's like 26, 27, could immediately push a playoff team,
Zach LaVine.
but isn't great. No. You would trade
Zach
Zach
for the
LaVine
number
for a
one pick.
No, not for the one, but
That's what
like,
I'm saying.
Give the Bulls
We
a
would,
mellow
we're
ball.
talking about the number one overall pick.
we would do
Is there
Zach
a player for a
LaVine
one?
and our first.
Easy says Jared Adams. Or Jared Allen. I'm sorry, I read that wrong.
He is not good enough.
Okay.
That would take Wiseman.
I don't know why you
Take
keep touching
Wiseman.
me.
Maybe.
That wasn't a punch.
What about
No, touching me in general.
What about like Jarrett Allen and Dinwiddie?
I mean,
That's again, I think too much for a one. Or are we overvaluing this one in a shit draft?
that's the thing. Because this is likely an unknown draft class, how good is a one? Dinwiddie can't work with another guard is the problem. So I wouldn't want him on my team anyway if I have Steph Curry. And I assume Steph's going to be healthy.
A bench guy.
Right. But still,
They
like,
don't
you
have any
can't
bench
have
players.
him out there at the same time.
Yeah.
Like, he's literally useless out there. So, and I know that's hurtful, but yeah, I'm looking at like the bottom teams in the NBA. Cleveland, we talked about Kevin Love. Outside of that, like TT is going to be up and free, and that's a no problem for any team to pick him up.
Drummond.
Drummond, nobody wants to pick up Drummond. Like,
No, I know, but I'm just trying
contract,
to think.
yeah.
Also on the Cavs.
Yeah, contract-wise, it's just awful. The Knicks have nobody who would fit that role.
No, their guys are too young.
Yep. Hawks,
Too young.
don't think they're going to move on from anybody.
Yeah.
Pistons, Blake is hurt. There's no way that
He's
they're
not
going
worth a
all in
one.
on that. He's not worth a one. The Bulls, Zach, but we'd have to give up our own first, probably to move up.
He's not good enough, and I don't think I don't want.
I'm not saying
I'm sorry.
he's
I would rather.
one of the best shooters in the NBA.
I would rather bleach my eyes out than watch Andrew Wiggins and Zach LaVine on the same team. Oh wait, that already happened.
Yeah. But hey, maybe you can move. maybe you
Minnesota
move
team
Wiggins
sucked.
off for Zach and part of that deal. I know. I'm just tossing out shit.
I know.
Maple
it's
Jordan
all
comes
shit.
play
Hornets
in the
has the
house
thing.
of Jordan.
Hornets is no.
No,
Just hard no. The Wizards, we talked about Beal.
too much.
Potentially.
Beal is too much for the one.
Brooklyn, I don't think they are going to move on from anybody. I think they're looking for a third piece to get in there. Moving on from, Spence and Karras, potentially. Orlando, Aaron Gordon, we rumored about him being somebody who, value-wise, I know I just gave him a wet boy, but he's having a down career year, and he looks like the
But
odd
he's
man out.
cheap.
And he's cheap. That's what I'm saying. Like, that could be a good piece for him. And he could toughen up a little bit working with Draymond.
Could you get like DJ Augustine? I don't know what Augustine's contract is, so
I don't know if he has next year under contract.
Could you do Aaron Gordon plus depth piece for the first?
Checking.
Is that too much?
That might not be enough.
Sorry, is the first too much?
Probably. But if you got another pick from the Magic, so
where they're probably be
Augustine is
picking
under
like
contract
17?
just to the end of this year. You get the supernova of offense.
You think they would work on that team?
I don't know.
I got one.
I just like saying his name.
I got one.
Terrence Ross,
Yeah.
by the way, for the uneducated people.
True.
So you get number one. You trade it back with the Knicks to get more draft picks. What if they don't go James Wiseman? They go either Edwards or LaMelo Ball, whoever they like better.
Are you talking about the Knicks?
I'm saying the Knicks take whoever they want at one. Like, let's say the Knicks
but
go
you
Wiseman
said they don't
at
go
one.
Wiseman. Okay,
Let's
so
say they
you're-
do. Let's
okay.
say the Warriors don't. The Warriors take either Edwards or Ball,
Ugh.
whichever one's available.
Yep.
And what if the plan is or could be, hey, 76ers then start shopping talent. They add a guy like they already had Edwards or Ball, whichever one they like better, and they make a trade for a Joel Embiid, and he becomes the center of this team. Not saying they should. I'm just throwing out what if that becomes a possibility. Because, like, a healthy Embiid on this team, if the Sixers are going to shop him in a year or
we
two,
said Beal is too much. A healthy Embiid is a top.
I think
10
you
player.
could get
Yeah.
Embiid for cheaper because of the injury concern. You could throw that in there.
You
Like,
could
why would I
could
give you
get
the
him for
house?
cheaper, but I don't think the Sixers are motivated to move him.
Not yet. They could be, though, in like a year or two.
Okay, but
based off of how
We're
the
talking
Ben
about
and,
this year.
No, I don't think there's a trade this year that happens. That's why.
Okay.
I don't think there's one this year. They make that trade 2021 offseason and beyond.
I don't think that's happening. And that's why, again, I would say it's more likely they move down and just pick and then get future assets and then take those future assets and get a smaller depth
yeah.
piece where
They could
then
use
fill
that.
out the
They could
bench.
definitely use a backup point guard.
So rank the scenarios, them picking, them trading back and picking, them trading for a piece. I would say pick, trade back for a pick, and then trade for a piece.
Yeah, I don't see the piece right now. I think there's a couple guys who they could do deals for, but it's just very complicated because of the contracts. So I'm probably the same order. I think that clear and best option at the moment is James Wiseman, first available. I don't know if I would take Onyeka over Anthony Edwards, even with the roster how it stands today. I just don't know the upper end of what Anthony Edwards could be at the NBA level. So that's tough for me.
I think it's funny thinking Onyeka is a safer pick than Edwards.
I mean,
He is.
Yeah.
And it's just funny because Edwards might be the number one prospect here, but I'm also not even...
He could look like...
I also don't even know if he's good.
Yeah.
I hate this draft class.
I've seen amazing comps anywhere from, crossing the range of, like, he could be the next Victor Oladipo because he's just such a physically strong player who can dominate driving.
And that makes sense
because he's add that shot consistency because he's an awful shooter percentage-wise, but the stroke seems to be not terrible. So
I think he's the same measurables as Oladipo. I think he's a little thicker than Oladipo was, but I think he's still 6'5", and also the comp is there because of both playing for Tom Crean.
Yep. And he's playing with a terrible team.
I don't know. He sucks. He doesn't suck, but I don't like watching him play basketball.
I don't know. So I'm basically the same order, though.
Ricky, rank him.
I would say...
And I know I'm probably giving you anxiety because I'm standing up.
There's only one plan. Actually, you're like right at the edge of it. Now you went above. Now you're below.
You're Sean, to me, that, you're too tall.
To me, no, too short. Too short because he was just under it. To me, you're gonna kill yourself.
No, Matt. Keep talking. Let's end this.
Oh, God. Now he's trying to do it both ways because he's trying to go up above and his ass is sticking out the
back
other side. Now he's just
okay. Just talk, Ricky.
So, to me, there's one plan, and that's with the number one pick. Trade back with a team like the Knicks to then still get Wiseman at 2 rather than 1, and then save those picks to eventually get the ammo for the sign and trade that you're trying to do in 2021. The thing that you're talking about,
though, like the trade
Knicks
back
have
with
equal
the Knicks,
chance to get the first pick.
Well, they have equal chance, but
is what it is right now.
Equal chance, but like
I'm just saying, if the order is what it is now.
I'm Ricky. Relax, Jesus Christ. But like if the Knicks pick 2 and the Warriors pick 1,
they don't care.
What's the point of them trading with each other?
Yeah,
because the Warriors would want Wiseman, and the Knicks can pick whoever they want.
Take
because the Warriors would want. The Warriors need to get the Knicks' future picks so they can use that.
Right, but why would the Knicks do that? Because the Knicks, I think, would be happier with having LaMelo Ball or
It would
Anthony
all be
Edwards.
the Warriors would. I don't want to say politics, but it's finagling teams. Like, we don't know who we're going to take. Oh, you want LaMelo Ball? We've got offers from this team.
That's what I'm saying. I think they could just take whoever falls.
I think that the Warriors could have a little bit of that trade game going on.
It's the Mitchell Trubisky thing.
Yeah, exactly.
The fleeced. But I don't think it's happening. The Knicks are stupid.
Not with this class.
Think only Ryan Pace is that stupid to make a move in all 4 major sports.
That's awful.
The Knicks need LaMelo or Anthony Edwards, and I think they're fine taking either of them. And they don't give a shit if they pick Wiseman or one of them, because that way then they might have a shot at Wiseman when they end up getting the best player in the draft.
Sam's worried about you, Sean. He says, God forbid if Sean fell right now.
Yeah. MVP doesn't have great insurance.
I fall 2 feet. I'm right now 7'4", apparently, if we're asking Jake. I'm 2 feet taller than what I am.
True.
I'm actually right now 7'9". So cool. Actually, I don't even think I'd be taller than James Wiseman. Anyways, that's going to do it for this podcast. We're going to do Superfans after this, so stay tuned if you're watching on twitch.tv/MousePadPodcast. If you're not, you're watching on YouTube, we appreciate you so much for supporting this. I've been looking at our social blade, and it's been rough for the past three months, but now we're actually on the uptick. Yep. So we appreciate you guys still sticking around and supporting us. We really do appreciate that. We're trying to provide the best NBA content possible. We're trying to have fun with it too. So obviously we might have gotten off track a little bit. We might not also be dead on, but we've never been dead on in the past 5 years. So Luka. We do appreciate you guys. We did hit Luka.
I'm actually really good at the draft. If you guys want honest opinion,
we're good at the draft.
Brag.
We're good at
I'm not even humble. I'm just really good.
We're good with the prospects.
Yes.
We know we have a good idea of. We might not be like,
but what happens in the season?
We knew Malcolm Brogdon was going to be good, right? We didn't have him in our top 15, but nobody else did because we knew that was his value. We knew these players players. We're going to be good. We might not be like, oh, we're not going to clamor for them to go higher, but we're trying to also predict where they might end up. We have a pretty decent idea of who's going to be a bust and who's not going to be a bust. I think the only players we've missed on is Markelle Fultz.
Yeah.
Right?
Everyone has, though.
Because we were still good. We were still on with Tatum.
Yeah.
I don't think we ever said he was going to be bad. Oh, Jaylen Brown. Sorry.
Jaylen Brown.
His teammate. We said he was going to suck.
No, we said he was going to suck to start with because he was a raw talent. It would take him time to get better. I didn't know he's going to be that good that early.
Yeah,
he's that good that early.
I will say I missed on Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
Other than that, did we have any other bad misses?
Not top of the draft.
Didn't we
Marquise Chris, maybe? Oh, Bender.
No. I had Bender high.
Didn't we put Ivan Rabb above Jaylen Brown? Because they were teammates?
God, no.
I don't. Maybe are like 1.0.
Because they were teammates and we're like, well, Brown's going to need more developing, but Ivan Rabb looked really good.
Yeah, coming back for next year. Great plan, Ivan.
I do want to go back and see where we missed.
I'd love to do like a retro.
Malik Monk, maybe?
Yeah, I still think he was a flamethrower. Like, he just hasn't had a great opportunity.
Well, apparently he was juicing, too.
Not juicing, he was smoking a lot of weed. And then he refused to go to rehab program. So.
Oh, really?
Make me go to
Seems that way.
rehab.
Oh.
Said,
Shut up, Monk.
No.
Light that shit up, buddy. Anyways, that's going to do it for the Fastbreak Podcast. We appreciate you watching. And also check out patreon.com/MostOutPodcast if you do want to help support us more. What's up?
Easy says, Ivan Rabb got kicked off the next G League team. That's how bad he is.
He sucks. For Dave Oster, for Ricky Widmer, I'm Sean Anderson. Also, apparently we were wrong on Georgios Papagiannis because we didn't have him in the first round. And, look what that was. But let us know what you think of us down in the comments below, I guess. And we'll see you next time.